These are two of my favorite species of Japanese maple. And the one on the left here with these beautiful reddish leaves, I like its architecture. And remember again, when we think about using trees in our landscape to save energy, we need to think about growing these trees for a long period of time, which means we have to have good architecture. So with this particular one called Emperor One, this is a 1 1/4 inch balled and burlap tree, which means a foot above the soil surfaces. The surface is where we measured the diameter of the trunk. And when I look at the canopy of this tree, I think about the live crown ratio, how we look at the entire height of the tree and how much of that is comprised of canopy. And we can see that more than 60 or 70% are comprised of canopy of these really wonderful branches. Also, when I work my way up, we have that tallest branch, which is what we call the central leader, and then subordinate to that or secondary to that are all these lateral limbs which create this beautiful pyramidal structure. Also, when I did a 360 around this, I see branches filling out all of the areas of the crown. I look at the space between the branches. So every branch is earning their keep. We have adequate sunlight available to all of these lateral limbs. So this specimen is ideal, and we can see, I can imagine the amount of training required to create this scaffold collection of lateral limbs with that beautiful central leader. And now here's another one called Sangokaku, another beautiful Japanese maple, but it needs a little bit of corrective action. Once again, we've got this beautiful straight trunk. We've got the ball, the root ball that is wrapped in burlap. And then we also have a very nice crown. But something we need to keep in mind is when you look at the overall appearance of the tree, I am looking at the trunk for any signs of any injury. I am also looking along the length of the branches for any potential dieback, any limbs that may be broken. What really stands out on this one is this V-shaped arrangement of branches. This, in my opinion, should be my central leader. It should be the tallest branch in the canopy. Unfortunately, we have another limb coming off the side that is approximately the same height as what I want my central leader to be. And so this one may have just passed the pruning shears in the nursery. What I would recommend is just applying a little corrective action, because when I look at that V-shape arrangement, look at the size of the branch coming off at the left. It is almost the same diameter as my vertical trunk, which should be my central leader. And already that tells me when that side limb is more than 1/2 or even more than 3/4 the diameter of this central leader, I will have a weak branch attachment. I have what we now call a codominant trunk or codominant stems, where this branch on the left is competing with this one on the right. And I know that if I leave that alone and don't care for this tree in the landscape, ultimately it will split apart. And how sad can that be when you've got this beautiful Japanese maple? It's expensive, and rightfully so. And then maybe 10 years down the road, a storm event occurs and you lose the top of the tree. We can't have that. So what's important is that after it's planted, or perhaps even in this nursery, if someone could cut back or subordinate this lateral limb and then thin out the 4 or 5 here to just one, we will reintroduce that pyramidal shape with the beautiful central leader and lateral limbs that are subordinate or secondary to that primary central leader. And so also when I look around the tree, I do have a few wayward branches, but after the first year of establishment, we can make these corrections, thinking long-term, the benefits that we'll gain after 40 or 50 years of proper placement and energy savings will make it worthwhile.